Hey everyone! Before we dive in, if you enjoy real, raw stories like this one, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. It really helps the channel grow. Everyone remembers that instant when everything in the room shifts. For me, it hit under soft glowing lights, with budget bubbly flowing and a forced grin that split wide open. My name's Alex, and that evening was meant to be all about joy. Pals, colleagues, relatives. Tunes blasting loud enough to cover awkward chatter. Sarah was right next to me, her hand gently on her belly, radiating that glow folks always describe as stunning. I caught the glances before any words came out, the sly grins, the excitement humming like electricity. That's when Sarah raised her glass and lightly clinked it, calling for quiet. My heart squeezed tight, because I already sensed what was next. She beamed big and shared that she was expecting. Shocked inhales. Claps. Somebody hooped. Glasses chimed together, and right then, all eyes swung to me, expecting the thrilled hubby's response. I didn't grin. I stayed still. The quiet got thick enough to touch. At last, I cleared my throat and said steadily, "You ought to congratulate the guy who really fathered the baby." The whole place went dead still. Sarah's face went pale. Folks chuckled awkwardly, figuring it was a gag. It wasn't. Those words held 2 years of silent doubts, and one fact I quit avoiding. If this tale's already got you torn, smash that like button so it gets seen by more folks who've dealt with tough realities like this. I'd picked up on Sarah's growing distance way before that evening. She stayed at work later more frequently, shielded her phone, acted like my concerns were attacks. I convinced myself relationships go through phases. That trust requires waiting, but waiting without limits can turn into straight-up ignoring the signs. The first time I brought up if there was another person, she teared up and called me crazy. I said sorry. That's how it kicks off. Questioning gets shut down until keeping quiet seems easier. A few months on, I crunched the numbers. The timeline didn't match. I looked into it once, discreetly and thoroughly. Evidence doesn't blow up. It just sinks in. And once it's in, you can't ignore it anymore. I stuck around regardless. Ego, optimism, worry, probably a mix of all. I wanted solid proof before ditching the world I created. That gathering was Sarah's plan. Big public announcement. A setup masked as happiness. What would you do if you were me? Stay silent or spill the truth. Drop your opinion in the comments. When I said it, I kept my voice level. I saw understanding creep over everyone's expressions like a gradual mark. Somebody slammed a glass down too forcefully. Sarah murmured my name, begging. I met her eyes and felt empty. Type truth in the comments if you agree that being straight up, even if harsh, beats a pretty falsehood. I walked out there soon after. Out in the open, the breeze hit cooler, fresher. My phone kept vibrating like crazy. I ignored it. Certain times call for quiet. I cruised with the windows rolled down, inhaling deep like I'd been holding my breath forever. If this account's hitting you hard, think about passing it on to somebody who could use a nudge that honesty always comes out in the end. I had no clue what the next day held. But one fact stood clear. The deception wasn't my burden anymore, and that oddly felt liberating. I passed that night by myself, going over every gut feeling I'd brushed off. Being cheated on stings, but cheating yourself hurts worse. I vowed I'd never swap real calm for faking again. Do you see outing the truth in public as mean or essential? Kick off a polite chat down below. Come morning, the stun wore off, replaced by determination. Sarah rang. I let go to voicemail. Certain talks are over before they start. I wasn't mad anymore. I'd had enough of justifying myself to folks who twist facts. If you've been in a spot where staying quiet was the only way to get by, like your story and subscribe for more tales on honesty, limits, and standing up for yourself. The toughest bit was done. Whatever followed would flip my world. But that evening showed me this. Being real costs way less than faking life, and holding your head high is always worth it. That insight stuck as sunlight crept in softly. The following day seemed surreal, like stepping into a stranger's routine. I brewed coffee on autopilot, filled 2 mugs, then poured one out. Little habits expose major realities. Sarah never made it back. I didn't speculate on her location. I knew already. By midday, texts stacked up. Buddies checking if things were all right. Relatives attempting to patch it up. I responded to nobody. Quiet isn't revenge. It's focus. When I eventually look at my phone, one message from Sarah. We have to talk. I read it, then flipped the phone over. I took a lengthy stroll, watching the town bustle past. Pairs walked by, giggling, linked hands. I didn't feel jealous. I felt unburdened like I hadn't in ages. Cheating messes with your grip on what's real. Stepping away restores it. When Sarah turned up that night, she seemed diminished, like carrying deception had worn her down. She forced tears. I let her. She attempted justifications. I stayed quiet. Apologies don't fix hurts. They just highlight the source. She confessed to cheating. A guy from work. It wasn't serious, she claimed. The phrase fell empty. Seriousness isn't about what you meant. It's about the fallout. I posed one query. Is the child his? She nodded. That's what I required. If a falsehood ever altered how you view somebody permanently, pass this on to a friend who gets that shift. We discuss practical stuff. Skipping feelings. Who leaves? What gets split? My steadiness surprised her. Steady doesn't mean heartless. It's embracing what's true. That night solo once more, sorrow hit fully. Not noisy or over the top. Subtle, genuine. I mourned the future I'd pictured. The us that was never actual. Mourning doesn't equal wishing it back. It shows you invested. In the weeks after, opinions changed. A few suggested I was too rough, that I humiliated her. I allowed the chatter. Deception shared openly need open fixes. I didn't start it. I stopped the act. Comment with a single word for what you believe counts most in a partnership after this tale. Mine's respect. No respect, love's empty sound. The video from the gathering spread online. Outsiders chimed in. Backing caught me off guard. So did the backlash. I figured out a key thing. You can't dictate how folks view your lines. You just hold them steady. Sarah suggested therapy. I said no. Therapy mends cracks, not bases made of lies. Leaving wasn't payback. It was valuing myself. Time went by. Things got simpler. I rested easier, smiled genuine. Confidence rebuilt, beginning with me. One night, a buddy questioned if I'd ever wish I hadn't that evening. No pause. Wishing comes from lingering too much, not exiting soon enough. Jump into the comments chat. Was Alex mistaken to call it out openly? Or would quiet have been the true letdown? Replies reveal more about viewers than the situation. I bumped into Sarah once in the supermarket. She appeared worn out. We nodded civilly. No resentment, no yearning. Just space that's fair and needed. Ending isn't a talk. It's a choice. Liberation didn't come with fanfare or guarantees. It came softly via new habits. Days taken back. Evenings free from bargaining for closeness. I discovered self-worth builds up, delivering rewards in calm.